No, ain't no more packets.
Ain't no more packets?
No, I thought I don't make so many. Cause I thought you bring the computer. Yeah, see? I emailed it to everybody. I only made a few copies because I threw them away.
Good.
So,
Yeah, you know, I need my.
Not forget tomorrow. Oh.
He don't use paper, he use,
yeah. Computer.
but I use paper.
I use paper.
You know, I try to get away with paper, but just, this is broke. I just got out of there. How much time all this time?
Oh, Lord Jesus, silence.
We get a solar company.
Don't feel bad, it just used to be like that sometimes, you know?
My mind is everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Ordinance meeting.
Get it together, Louis. Get it together.
That's my plan.
Let me know. It's a hot day.
Okay, good evening. We're going to open our meeting for Building and Code Safety Committee for June the 20th. It is now 5:30, and we will start with a roll call by our co-chief.
Malone Marshall.
Present.
Lewis, here. Barron. Tolly.
Here.
Marzak.
Present.
Cobbs.
Here.
Noble. Here. We have 6 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Our minutes for our May 16th meeting will be available for our next meeting. So we'll move on to our approval of our bills, which we have in our packet for May. Our bills for May. I don't see anything outstanding on the bills, so if we could entertain a motion to approve the bills for May.
I'll make that motion, Chairman, to approve the bill for $4,126.96.
Thank you, Alderman Cobbs.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Alderman Tully. Do we have any comments or concerns? Anything you want to point out for us, Director Nelson? No. Thank you. Any other questions or concern on the bills? Roll call.
Malone Marshall.
Aye.
Lewis. Aye. Tolly.
Yes, aye.
Marzak.
Aye.
Cobbs.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Bills approved.
Okay. Our next item is our director's report. And I'm sorry, I didn't even say if there were any public comments. I really should have started on that. And seeing no public here, we have no public comments, okay? I just want to make sure make sure that's part of the meeting agenda. On our director's report, we have our animal control bills for April and also for May. We also have our adjudication report for the findings for June 20th. Now, we didn't have adjudication reports the last time in our packets. Is this for all of those?
No, it's just for this court date adjudication.
So,
The computer system wasn't right, so I couldn't print out the docket for last month.
so what was been the date for last month that we did not see?
Oh, our last, meeting was that May 17th?
Our last was May 16th.
Okay, it would have been.
It'd been on that date, right? Okay, so we didn't see the identification for May 16th. I had wrote it on my agenda, but I didn't know what the date was, but that's right, it's on the same date, okay, due to technical. Okay. But we do have our adjudication report for May, for the findings for June 20th. And this is really for our benefit, so we can see if we have addresses or locations that we think need work on, and we can see if there has been any action taken on those addresses. So we really do appreciate Director Nelson including this report in her director's report. And so this is, do anyone have any questions or concern about the adjudication report? Did you have anything you want to point out to us in here?
I have a question. On the adjudication report, within the last month or two, it would show all of the properties that have been ticketed. And does it also show the results of those tickets?
No.
Okay.
This, these are the tickets that have a court date. These are tickets that we've written, and they have a court date, and the court date is the findings on June 20th. So they had court here, but I don't have a way of showing the results from these tickets. We just don't have that, whatever you call it,
The status?
report. We don't have a report that shows what happened after the court date.
So when you look at the status and it's showing pending on here, or the letter unclaimed, dismissed, or ticket paid, like that, so now that status doesn't get updated in your adjudication report?
I don't, it gets updated, but I don't think there's a way to do a report for it. So like adjudication, whatever happened at court today, they will update their system. They'll update theirs, so whether the ticket was paid or it was in default or whatever the case may be, or the adjudication would have that. I don't have access to the status, what happened.
Is this list input from your office or multiple locations?
Multiple,
That's what I thought.
us and the police department.
Yeah, yeah,
These are all the tickets that was written.
sure.
Because I see down here, you know, like at the bottom of page 1, it says ticket paid for that last case.
Yeah,
And then several others say ticket paid, you know,
that's because they paid it before the court date.
before they had to come to court, they already had taken care of the ticket. Okay.
Okay.
I got
That
you.
makes sense, okay.
Uh-huh. That explains that part.
Yeah, that part.
So now, if we wanted to find out the outcome of these hearings, where would we get that information from?
Maybe Dawn,
Don,
yeah,
legal?
the adjudication department.
Okay. Because I think that's what you're trying to find out, is how to find out the result of the
Yes,
tickets.
yes.
Right.
And what is the alternative that people have if they disagree with the ticket?
You can have a hearing. We have a hearing officer up there, and then the attorneys, and you can have a hearing.
You can request
Everybody
it.
can request a hearing.
Okay,
If they want, if you get a ticket, any ticket, you can request a hearing. And then the hearing officer would hear it, and you can state your case and all that.
okay.
That's for every ticket, any ticket.
So the hearing officer is separate from the adjudication officer?
Yeah, that is I don't think he's a judge, but I think it's an attorney that is acting as the hearing officer.
Okay.
And they have nothing to do with us in our department.
Because I see like Attorney Godden on here, and I was wondering, you know,
That's when someone have their own attorney.
they have their own
Yeah,
attorney?
when they bring their own attorney to court.
Okay.
So,
And on page 7, it says non-appearance. That means that they had, filled out the back of the back of the ticket and pled their case. They wrote it out on the back of the ticket, and so that goes to the hearing officer, and they make the decision that way.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
non-appearance means.
Okay. Okay, I see that on page 7. Anything?
but, on a ticket, if you just get a notice, is that a ticket?
No,
What if they give you a bill, is that a ticket?
no, if you get a bill, it's a bill from them picking up trash, cutting grass, or something like that. You get a notice first, you get a letter first.
Okay, but what if they didn't pick up? Or
It would, if they
Or
didn't
cut
pick up
grass.
what-
what if they didn't pick up or cut grass, and you got a notice, and then you got a bill?
Then you fill out a, formal inquiry, however you say that.
Uh-huh,
Fill that
inquiry.
out, and then we just have to investigate.
Okay, so where would you get the formal inquiry?
My office.
Okay, thank you.
It might be online also. Check the City of Kankakee website. It might be online. Not sure.
Okay,
Go check it and see.
thank you.
Okay. Those are good questions, because I have never heard that asked before. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, any other concerns about the adjudication report? Okay. Thank you for those explanations, Director Nelson. Oh, I got one other question. I noticed on page 10, it said for parent responsibility. Up under the, the reasons for a ticket,
What's that?
it's saying it was,
That must be police.
Yes.
That has to be police.
You
Oh.
don't do expired registrations though, right?
huh?
Code doesn't do expired registration, so these are tickets given by the police and code.
It's both, all of those go to adjudication, so that's a police, okay, all right, thank you. Okay, that's like the expired license and stuff. Okay. And then, we have our monthly report, permits report for May. And we have 11 pages. Shows that we had 182 permits, totaling the amount of $102,847.44. Or is it? Yeah. Yeah. With the permits, I do have a question. When people get permits, do we have something that explains what the procedure is for a permit?
The procedure,
Uh-huh. No? Okay.
meaning
You know,
how you
you
fill
gotta
out
get a permit, and then what, and then what, and then what, you know?
No, we don't have that.
Okay.
When I've gotten a permit, I haven't had to get a permit for something. I just went down there and I talked to, what's her name?
Felicia,
No,
Sherry.
yeah, Sherry. And she pretty much explained to me the process after that. I mean, you gotta pay a fee, and then it takes a couple of days, I think, and then you get the permit. And I think the only concern I had was what requires a permit and what doesn't. But what I did needed a permit.
Over the years going down there, I will say Sherry's an amazing individual.
Yes.
Very, very personable, always, I don't know how, but always in a good mood, at least when I'm there.
She is,
Experience too.
she is very amazing. She really is good.
Very, very nice lady.
I just was asking if we had a procedure for permits, that, you know, a person could just say, you know, if you get a permit, this is what you do. I just wanted to know. Okay. All right, moving on our agenda.
Usually, oh, I'm sorry, but usually they, well, when you come in, you fill out the permit. Once you're done, when you turn it in, they should say, okay, it should take 2 to 5 days, and we'll call you when it's ready. And, cause that's all it is. Once you fill it out, you turn it in, once it's ready, they'll call you. So they should be saying that, just to give you some kind of idea, but we don't have any policies on.
Okay,
Is that also building permits?
That's what we're talking about.
that's what we're
that
talking
is.
about, building.
Oh, cause we got our building permit, right there. We went in, told them what we're gonna do, or needed it to do. She filled out the paperwork, paid the fee, and was given it.
Not all in the same day.
Didn't work for me like that.
Me either.
Not all, you filled out the paperwork and turned it in,
To her,
and then, because she doesn't process she doesn't
Do the-
review the permits, the building inspector has to review the permit.
okay, the building inspector was there, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, I still don't think.
And he
it's all in the same day.
reviewed it that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know what,
Okay, that's why I was just asking.
Yeah, it may have been a special circumstance.
Yeah, it might have been.
it had to be something.
Because she had already talked to the building inspector, and he just told her to go down and get the permit. She went down, got the permit, came back with it.
Okay, well, that's good you had that.
Yeah, it
expedient
was good.
service. But that is basically what I was told. It's 2 to 5 days, and
Yeah, we
and
don't-
I did get it in like 3 days, and like I just wanted to know.
Yeah,
if
and I'm asking
that's just the
because-
way it flows like that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't figure, after doing it once, I would go expecting that to happen again. And hearing what you're saying, then I wouldn't,
I don't know how because.
I don't know how.
Even if you fill out the application that day, we have to check ownership, we have to make sure what you're doing, so.
I don't know how.
She take it in and give it to the building inspector, he have to review it and make sure it's up to code, and then give it to her, she have to print it out and everything, so I don't know how you got it all in one day.
Can you bring your mic down?
Oh, I don't know how you got it all in one day, unless it was already filled out before. I don't know. I just don't know how you got it in
I
one
didn't
day.
know we needed it. She had talked to the inspector before, and she went in, she got the permit, and came back. So.
Yeah. Well, that's not how it happens. Just
That's
so
what
don't
I'm
expect
understanding.
that the next time, because that's not how it happens.
Right, and I knew it took 2 to 5 days, and I know, but I was just wondering if there was. I never knew of it being done in one day like that, but I knew it. Mine took like 3
Makes
days.
me feel very special.
Many years ago, you could walk in and get a permit if the building inspector was there. But that was,
20 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long
23
time.
years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you didn't have to do all the looking up and ownerships and all that. We have to do all of that now. So that's why it takes 2 to 5 days. And then if you have contractors, we have to make sure they registered and all kind of stuff. That's why we don't say, come back tomorrow and pick it up, because it might be a problem, or you might have a lien on your property. Now we have to let you know about this lien, and you have to, so.
Clear it up.
Yeah, that's why it takes we say 2 to 5 days, because it usually take 2 to 5 days.
Okay.
Without problems, because if a contractor is not registered, if you hired a contractor and the contractor is not registered, you might think he's okay, but he's not okay in our office, and then he might drag his feet getting in his paperwork to re-register, so
Oh, okay.
it might even take even longer, but that's with contractors and stuff, so.
Well, thank you for that input. Moving on.
And what happens after, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
what happens after the permit is issued? What's the follow-up? What's the follow-up from the city?
Depending on what it is, the plumbing inspector go out, you have to call for an inspection. It says it on the permit, call for inspections. And so when you call for an inspection, then they'll come out and inspect it. Sometimes, say if it's a roof, sometimes it's just a drive-by. We go by and inspect it, and then once it's in compliance, they'll just close it out. They don't come back to you and say anything. They'll close out the permit, but depending on what it is. You know, if you replacing a hot water heater, then you're supposed to call the plumbing inspector to come check it.
Right.
If they're doing electrical, then, you know, you have to call the electrical inspector. And so you should call for inspections, and then they'll go out and inspect it, and then you done. You know, there's no other follow-up after the inspections.
Do they ever tell people they're not coming back for an inspection?
No, probably not.
Yes, they do. I just, is there a cause for them not to say to the homeowner that we're not going to come back to inspect?
No,
Yes, because it's happened. I've heard it from the mouth of the inspector.
wait, say it again.
If someone gets a permit
Yeah,
or is told they need a permit for a small structure outside, they're told they need to get a permit, and then the homeowner is asking the inspector, are you going to come back and check it out after? No, we're not coming back.
well, I don't know.
I've heard it firsthand from the mouth of an inspector.
Okay, well, that's not how it goes.
I'm hoping not, because if we're not doing follow-up, we're just taking people's money.
Are you saying that
Well, I thought it was just like
Like if let's say hypothetically, I'm putting in a
Shed.
shed or a deck. There's a requirement for a foundation or a footing or some reasonable fashion that we're going to make sure that this thing doesn't blow away in the wind or fall down. If you're putting in a fence or posts for a deck, you know, the holes need to be so deep in order to comply with code. So there's step processes along the way. Are those things being done, or is it just,
If the homeowner calls and say, I'm ready for a post hole inspection,
okay?
yeah, they have to call, because just because you pull a permit today don't mean you're starting to work tomorrow.
No,
So that's
exactly.
why
I
it's
know
on there,
that.
they need to call for an inspection. If you don't call for an inspection, then we don't know if you did the work or not, until we drive around and do other stuff, but
Yeah,
that's when you have to call for an inspection. If it's just, okay, you putting a shed on this slab or whatever, that's a drive-by, so.
every
you
job
wouldn't-
is a little bit different, but yeah.
Yeah,
So are those steps explained in the permit that's given to the homeowner? Because some
No,
of them
it-
don't require anything, some of them require multiple steps along the way.
yeah, well, it just says on the permit, call for an inspection.
Okay,
But when?
They used to highlight,
ready for an
used to
inspection?
highlight those,
Yeah.
you know, call for, you know, rough-in inspection or, you know.
well, and certainly mechanical, plumbing, electrical, you absolutely expect a return
Right.
inspection, especially plumbing. I mean, that's state mandated. But there's other things that may or may not require a follow-up, or like, as you say, a drive-by is adequate.
Yeah, so if you call for an inspection, we need to do the inspection. But if you don't call for an inspection, we don't know if you, especially if it's something on the inside of the house, we don't know if you did the work or not.
Right,
So, you know, as we go, because we continue to get permits all the time, so when we finally go back to check and see, hey, so a lot of times what they'll do is if they haven't had an inspection, they'll call a homeowner and say, hey, have you had this work done?
Sure.
Or something like that, but yeah, on things that need inspection, the homeowner has to call for an inspection, and then we'll do the inspection.
okay.
and so they don't close, they have to close out a permit at your office. They have to close out the permit,
Yeah.
the building permit.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's the final process.
Yes.
So if they haven't did an inspection, then it's not closed out?
It's not closed out.
Okay, okay. Yeah, see,
And
that's
then-
what I was trying to understand. You
Right.
know, when you get a permit,
Right.
then what happens like that? So they
Yeah,
have
we
to
close.
have inspections and.
We close it out, and it's just information for us. It's nothing that does anything else, but we know this permit is done when we close it out. So it doesn't affect anything, but so we'll know it's done. But if the homeowner don't call for an inspection, we just don't know. Then we have to go and investigate. We have to call the homeowner, call the contractor, or see if we can see something from the outside. We wouldn't have no other way of checking if they don't call for an inspection.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions or?
Is there a list of what's not required for, a permit? Do we have any list, like for whatever, replacing a window or a door? Is there a list of, things that, that wouldn't require a permit,
So I don't think there's a list of things that's not required, but I believe it's on the city website, a list of what's required.
Required?
So we didn't do what's not. I know I did what's required. And I believe it's on the city website. Of course, I haven't checked, but this was a long time ago. Me and Wade got together and I gave him something to put on the website. So it should be on the website of when a permit is needed.
Okay.
I'd like to revisit that list sometime. It was on our agenda a couple of months ago, a discussion about this list that once existed, that's no longer available. I would like to see if we can get that back on our,
I would like to see it too.
okay.
What is,
You remember I was telling you about, it was a list of stuff that we didn't have to have permits for. But when me and you talked about it, you said that that was probably something that was, I don't know, it wasn't an official list or something. I just can't find it yet, and I got a lot of stuff over the last few years. And so it's
what kind of list is it again?
it was just a list of items that didn't require.
Didn't require a permit?
And I thought it was actually in the book,
I would think it would be in,
I thought it was in the big book at one time, a list of things. That's where I thought I saw it, but I don't know. I'd have to.
It's in the code book, but everything that's in the code book is not online. So,
I did approach Clerk Gall as well as legal, Dawn,
Okay.
to see if they had anything in their archives. And I think they're still looking.
They might be still looking, because I'm still looking, so I
You
haven't.
said there was
I haven't seen that list, but it was a list of
I think as it
things.
stands, basically, we're told that as a homeowner, you can paint, wallpaper, and put on trim.
put on what?
trim like
Paint
around the
wallpaper
door.
and put up trim.
now it's more than that, because you can do cabinets.
I'm sorry?
You can do cabinets, flooring.
I believe our list says that those require a permit. I've seen some permits written for cabinets and.
They could have been doing a whole remodel and just put cabinets on there,
Yeah.
on the application. They could have done that. They do it all the time, but we don't require permits for
Yeah.
cabinets.
Yeah,
It'd just be handy for, the homeowner to be able to, in the search engine. I've tried it myself back, regarding sheds. It's like, what are requirements? Sheds,
Right.
pools, and it's
Right.
kind of insane that we don't have that ability to just, kind of like, you Google it and you'll get it from other communities, and it's like, we should have the homeowner, shouldn't have to call like the alderman to find that out, or, you guys, I mean,
Should
punch
be,
punch it
The
in.
thing with the website is that, and I've been saying this since I became an alderman, there's no keywords
Right.
in the website. And that it does bring about problems. It shouldn't have to have computer one-on-one to find out.
Right, exactly.
Well, and when Alderwoman Noble and I first came on, you know, we're going through that huge bell curve trying to figure out what the heck's going on around here, you know, and I went to the city website and looked at all the code stuff, and you run into a brick wall. You go in that way, but thank you to Alderman Marzak, he told me, no, you gotta Google and come back in through the back door, then you can see the whole code book. You know, I mean, why isn't it available on the Kankakee site directly and a little more user-friendly?
Been my complaint since I got elected, and I thought it was easier, but it's not. I particularly mentioned keyword search, and
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, I think that's a.
I mean, that's not a
I mean,
code.
that's something for IT. I mean, they could do that.
Yeah,
talked to
that's
him.
not a code issue, that's an IT issue.
I talked to IT.
Oh, it's definitely an IT issue, but it would help with code if we had.
It helps everybody though. I mean, you know, people call you up and you're going like,
Right.
let me try and find it for you. 2 hours later, you know.
Right.
And I don't know if he understood what I was saying, maybe give him a call. I talked to him for over a year,
Okay.
or even longer, about keyword search, that the website isn't friendly. And I was having that discussion, and I talked to IT, and he said, well, we've updated it. And I didn't continue to persist after that, because somewhere along the way, we weren't understanding each other.
Okay. So maybe we can
Reach out to Wade.
reach out again
you
to
know.
Wade and see if it's any way that the, I don't know if it's our place to do that. I don't know, but
What's that? I'm sorry.
to update our web page, you know?
No, but we can offer feedback through, you know, mayor's office or directly to, I mean, we can't direct them to do whatever.
I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure I said that, so it didn't come out the code.
Well, as
That we could do it,
Speaker
so.
Land said, if you're looking for information, particularly on codes, you Google it, you get another city.
I know.
Yeah.
Does the llama change that with our new,
No.
don't change that still, so, okay. All right, so we have nothing under old business, and I think we have already started in new business as far as with our general discussion about trying to find information. I didn't have anything particular to speak on in general discussion, so if any of the committee persons had anything to discuss, we could discuss it at this time.
The only other thing I'll bring up at this time is, you know, the one bulk item per week is still not being picked up.
The one bulk item?
I believe they're
So
gonna,
that's something with,
I believe they're coming to license and franchise, I think, but Republic.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to hear what you were saying.
yeah, he was saying that one bulk item is still not being picked up per week
Right,
with the,
right.
with the garbage truck, and that has been an ongoing problem.
Oh, believe me.
Ongoing problem. I think I call Republican every week for a resident to say that they didn't come pick up their bulk item. So this is an ongoing issue. I don't understand where the disconnect is, but George is really good about sending them right on back and picking it up when you call. But
Okay.
as far as the drivers, they'll pass right on by. And
Right. Mm-hmm. It's great that our city crews will come by and pick stuff up, but that's not their principal job if we're
No.
paying an outside source.
Right. So that's something that we still need to see if we can get tightened up too.
I thought I had heard they were coming back to license and franchise this next go around here, so.
That'll be nice. Okay, next on the agenda, Alderman questions or concerns?
I'm good.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I just got a compliment. So I was out of town for 3 weeks, and my grass got long, and Ricardo did his thing. I came home, and I appreciate it. He came home, there was a notice on my door. to cut my grass. It was a fair warning. My grass had got long, and you just tell them if you could personally thank them for me, I'd surely appreciate that, because it helps to keep our community aesthetics good. So I got the ticket. It wasn't on my neighbor's house. It was on my house. I appreciate the job that he does, and I mean that for real. So that's my only compliment, if you would.
Thank you.
Well, it is, they are doing a good job. I see them moving around. I see the cars going, and they are putting the courtesy notes on people's doors and stuff. And I haven't heard any complaints about that at all, so I think that's working out pretty good.
So oops, can I say something?
Oh, definitely.
I really appreciate that because, you know, code is the most hated department in the city. And we never get any compliments. And I do believe my team be out there busting their butt. We might miss stuff and things I'm not saying we're perfect, but anytime somebody give us a compliment, I make sure I tell them. And I really appreciate it because I do think they're doing a really good job. It's not perfect, but I think they're doing a really good job. So I can appreciate when they get compliments because we never get compliments on anything. And they work hard. Believe it or not, they work hard. They out there. They think, and that makes me, you know, do extra stuff. So I really appreciate when they get compliments because we're not the devil. We trying to make the city look nice, you know, and even though people might not think it, we are. We all trying to do the right thing and make the city look nice. And it's hard sometimes because if you're on the outside looking in, you think we're not doing anything when we are, you know. So anytime we get a compliment, I really appreciate that because we never get compliments.
Additionally, there were some complaints. I called him, he went and checked it out and followed up. I just think he does a great job. So once again, just give him my compliments.
I will.
mean, you can give it to the entire team. If they reflect his actions.
Can you pull your mic down while you're doing the compliment?
Yeah. Let me put the compliment on the mic, yes.
Thank you.
I just was repeating myself. He also does great in following up. I give him a call. He's very persistent in getting back with me. And then if I've called him about other resident complaints. He's went and checked it out and followed up. I mean, I can't ask anything more. You know, for him to say, hey, the alderman is not exempt. That means he's doing a great job. Once again, please tell them all that I appreciate what they're doing.
And can we get who are the workers for the different wards?
We have Ricardo.
What?
What's his last name?
He does 6. He probably does some. I see him all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, let me start. Kenyatta does first ward. Second ward. Susanna does second ward.
What's her name?
Susanna.
Susanna.
She does second ward and fourth ward.
Or the third, too, I believe, right?
Carolyn does fifth ward and third ward. Third ward.
She does what?
Carolyn does 5 and 3.
3 and 5. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute, I got mixed up. Susanna is 2 and 4?
Yes,
Okay, Carolyn, 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Okay.
Ricardo 6. Tanisha 7.
Thank you.
So Carolyn and Susanna they have extra wards.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right. We don't have a need for an executive session. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
I think you beat me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:08 PM.
Thank you, because I could not see that clock.
I know, I can't tell these that.